kind of special one. It's 2.5 gamers live. If you can please welcome to the stage Felix, Jakub and Matej.
Yeah, it's working. Dude, I can hear you. From all of it.
Is it?
Yeah.
I need this.
You need to do your famous intro.
I do. Okay, so welcome everyone. This is No Bullshit Gaming Podcast 2.5 Gamers session number 51. This is a special session. Also, we are live. Done it once, so this is going to be very interesting. So we're sharing actionable insights, developing knowledge from our day-to-day UA, game design and monetization jobs. We're definitely not discussing the latest news, but we're having so much fun. So let's see. Let's not forget this is still 4 a.m. conference discussion live. Let's not take it too seriously. Today, Felix, Jakub, and myself, Matej. Thanks. Okay, now what?
Well, let me just ask one thing first that I'm a bit confused about, because like today is the UA day, right?
Yeah.
And tomorrow's the admon day. Like tomorrow's the day when stuff gets done. Like really important stuff happens. Increasing ad revenue. That's what actually drives LTV. And I've got to say one thing from seeing talks here today. Love all you guys, but UA people are so flamboyant. And I want to ask you, Matej, here on stage, why are UA people so flamboyant?
You practice?
So if you're speechless, I guess, you know.
It's a great day. What are you talking about?
You're still flamboyant, you know.
What I can say when I'm product people.
Why are my product people are not?
Zero.
Yeah, exactly. So you can go.
Yeah.
You can leave.
So anyway, what are we talking about today?
So it's going to be, well, a few things about admon, going from admon to max,
Yeah.
talking about...
I'm looking forward to having this conversation with admon people and Max in the room. So usually I'm hiding behind the screen, but you know, I'll be honest and yeah.
Yeah,
Hopefully the AppLovin army doesn't capture me, or the AppLovin army doesn't capture me.
I'm not sure like how we should go about it. Like usually it's like, can be really awkward. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're usually hiding behind the screen.
Yeah.
Should we interact more with the people or just
Yeah,
pretend they're not there?
I mean, maybe after my part they might have a comment or two, so let's see.
Okay, yeah, okay, actually, yeah. If you have any comments, leave them for later, please. Now just raise hand and then we might answer. We'll try to answer. Then I'm going to talk about a little bit like how I think UA and creatives will look like this year. Already mentioning that in the first session morning, and then it's going to be a segue from creatives to actual game design. Here's to shine. Are you?
I will.
Yeah.
So before we start, great conference. I'm very disappointed because I tried to get margarita during the lunch and couldn't get one. And here, instead of margarita, we got daiquiris. Like, what the fuck? Why?
Are you?
Yeah, it's first world problem, of course.
Yeah.
But okay, you can start with the admin.
Yeah. So I want to talk about a couple of things on the admon front that I'm seeing right now. The first one is anyone in the room actually from admon?
Admin.
Admon. Yeah. Oh. Admon.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So, no admon? Okay. But okay, so the reason that no one from admon is here is because right now, the people that work in admon are the hottest piece of real estate. These guys are like small leprechauns running around because right now, they have a list. And they have a list of companies that they can white label on AppLovin Max for admon bidding. And admon bidding right now is the hottest like club or hottest thing to do in admon, right?
Why?
So if you start using, so basically the admon bidder is the best thing since sliced bread. Like it's the best piece of technology that's been invented in our industry for admon for literally 10 years. And the reason for that is basically as soon as you switch it on, I've used it in 14 games with a couple of clients, you switch it on and then just magically 10 days later, your ad ARPDAU goes up by always 12%, no matter what you do. So if you get on this magical list that's guarded, which is why they're not here, basically you will earn your employer 10% more revenue, guaranteed. Yeah.
Who are you? What did you do with the old Felix?
What? Oh, he did.
Okay.
Where's the decibels?
Yeah, 10.2. But anyway, so that's why they're hiding. So they released this bidder on a closed beta in, what was it, September? 8 companies worldwide, and they all saw tremendous growth. It was great. And right now, they are releasing another 40 companies worldwide, So right now, it's everyone's job who has who has any ad revenue in any game or app. It's your job to beg, borrow, steal your way onto this list. So the way to do it is you first need to speak to Google, and then Google needs to agree with Max. So it's like two parties here that you need to please, right? So find these AdMob people. See, he left. See? You saw it? So he took his list and he ran out. Right? So basically the easiest way to earn more money right now in AdMob and mediation is just to get on this bidder list. If you get on there, you're going to be, in your CEO's good graces. Right.
So the process is you need to ping your
beg, borrow, steal. Basically like how they do it is like they look on like company growth. So you need to just, project how big you will be as a result of the bidding.
And if you're a small company, then you're fucked.
Yeah, right now you need a lot more finesse if you're small. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Like kidnap them and stuff.
I mean, dinner. Hey, how about them? How about that bidding? Yeah. So that's the way to go.
How long is this gonna work?
So basically, the little trick right now is you can use AdMob on placements and bidding until basically they stop the rollout or finish the rollout. And they said that's probably going to be like Q1 next year, so you get to double dip, which is really nice. So right now, like that is the lowest hanging fruit in all of ad monetization. Super easy.
And what happens after the Q1?
That's it. We all go to heaven. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
No guarantees.
Yeah, no guarantees. Anyway, and then after salvation. After the speed and spirit of the sun. Anyway, so after that, probably the lowest hanging fruit right now in ad mediation or ad monetization is APS, so Amazon Publisher Services. Here's another big company that's moved into mobile, and they're not opening it up for the general population, and they have a list as well. But these guys, they don't even tell you who has this list. So basically what happens is if you get on the list, it's like a cool club, I guess. So if you're on the list, like your banners and justicials will make a lot more money. The trick here is that basically how it works, so Amazon Publisher Services is an amalgamation of e-commerce demand, which is great. You get the same eCPMs as other gaming demand. And then also you get a bunch of DSPs that bid into your inventory that increases basically the eCPM. So the trick here is you can use something called, so first acronym, APS, Amazon Publisher Services. Second acronym, they love acronyms. Jeff Bezos always loved acronyms. So the second thing you have to work with is TAM. I don't know what it stands for, but it's called TAM. And that means essentially you can do direct IO deals with DSPs. So what happens then is that basically that means that APS can't take a margin anymore. So if you get whitelisted, you run this for about 4 weeks, pick out the top 3 like DSPs, and you strike a direct deal with them. You have to invoice them, it's a bit more annoying, but what happens is it just goes to the moon. So if you do this, Amazon Publisher Services will be your top 3 ad partner on banners and interstitials. It's amazing.
So how do I get on the list?
So, no one knows. Scholars maintain that basically you have to go on a website that's really hard to find. It's Amazon Publisher Services at something, new partners, and then you apply. And then you don't hear anything. And then 3 weeks later, you either get denied or someone reaches out and says hello.
So
but what's going on behind there is they're seeing, because apparently Amazon Publisher Services is buying a lot of inventory on DSPs, so they're seeing what the overlap is. So basically, if you have a lot of overlap with your game, then they'll whitelist you. I know, the world is so unfair right now because the 2 best things for ad monetization is literally Google with a list and Amazon with a list.
So the best ad monetization thing is pray, hope, and kidnap.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
What is all about these club invitations, man?
Yeah, I don't know, man. You need to order a table. I don't know. Yeah, book a table. Yeah.
Do you have anyone at Amazon that actually you can?
I met a guy who knows a guy. I'm not on the list. I got lucky once, so I'm not on the list. I just got lucky enough with one publisher. It was really good, but I'm not on the list. I know a guy. I think he's based in Amsterdam or Tokyo. I'm not sure.
Very proximate.
Could be either or. I mean, I had a guy I was emailing with, and then I had another client that I went hey, hat in hand. Please, sir, can I have some more impressions? And they're like, no. So no
If you did it with that voice,
What do you do?
if you did it with that voice, I wouldn't give you any more impressions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So did anyone from AdMob actually walk in? Because that would be really good right now. Because but I just want to point out them.
Oh, it's good. Later on.
Yeah. Later on.
Maybe.
They're waiting for you also.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't know. We can hide it. Don't worry.
Where do we want to take it from here? Do we want to talk about a head-to-head against AdMob and Max, or should we?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
There's no one from Max here. Yeah. This unfiltered in front of people is easier because there's no one here, right?
Yeah, of course. It's good.
Yeah. So also right now I'm wrapping up a head-to-head with AdMob mediation and Max mediation, and right now, like on every video inventory, you're getting 67% uplift between the two. The main reason is because on AdMob mediation, they're just so greedy. So like AdMob as a network takes up always a majority of the share of revenue, which means that you don't get enough networks to compete for your ad inventory to basically bring it to the next level. But the big downside is when you go to Max, the ad quality goes down because, they have these annoying end cards that sometimes when you're running UA campaigns, right, Matej? Like, what's the click-through rate you sometimes get?
I have no idea.
Oh, but you're a flamboyant ad UA guy, yeah.
I was like, I don't have CTRs. If you attended my panel discussion, I told everybody I don't care about CTRs that much.
So what do you get?
Dramatics.
Yeah.
Yeah, then go ask.
Anyway.
Ad ROAS, yeah.
Yeah. So the last thing I just want to, if you're ever doing a head-to-head test and you're doing something with Max, just know that everything with them is in negotiation and everything can be dealt with. So you can go to them and say, can we change the end cards, please? They'll say, no, you're going to lose your ECPMs, but that's when you need to push. And when you push, after a couple of tries, you'll get what you want. So the thing is, Max right now looks a lot better than AdMob mediation, but you're going to have to work for it. And by working for it, you're going to have seeing a lot of more less retention in the start because the ad formats are quite pushy, especially in the very end. So they have different end card formats that are classified, and they call them internally, I think, 5 plus a number, so 2 numbers. The first one refers to how much you need to wait before you can close the ad after the 30 seconds, and then how many clicks it takes. So a 5-3 means 5 seconds waiting end card, and a 3 click to click out. So usually they start, I think, with a 5-4. So 5 second wait and 3 seconds to click out. And then you can decrease that to 5 plus 1. And then that's when you basically get a little bit of ECPM drop, but you get a lot better retention. So yeah, right now between AdMob and Max, 6% uplift if you move, and it looks quite good. That's right now the latest. So the list and the indicators.
List, second list.
Yeah, that was a lot of no bullshit. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Do you think better than to add some value than Mr. Flamboyant UA manager?
Most probably no. Because everybody's talking about how the future of the UA is going to look like. I have no idea. I mean, everything's changed rapidly, so it can be very different next month.
You're not going to make any predictions?
Oh no, I hate predictions. Come on, you know that. Okay, but so how I think the UA is going to look like, or what's going to change. So I have few topics. It's budgets, what kind of games will benefit the most, UA channels, then some creatives and privacy and AI automation bullshit. So in terms of the budgets, so everybody knows that this is some kind of downturn, economic recession, or whatever, post-COVID situation. So now gaming companies actually getting or spending less money, but they're spending less money because they were last year aiming for longer payback periods. Now, because of this uncertain times, let's call it times, they're actually aiming for not 160 or 180, but 90 days, or from 90 days to 60 days or 30 days. And then obviously decreases your LTV to a certain extent. So depends on the cash flow of the company as well. So some companies from 1 year to 6 months to actually get or actually have the cash in their bank account because it's tough. Get enough money? No, of course. That's what happens. So no prediction here. What kind of games would actually benefit this the most? You're the second best UA manager on the podcast. What would you think? Which kind of games would benefit the most from this in terms of IIP versus ads or genres?
ones that monetize the fastest.
Yeah, so you are the second best UA
You
manager.
want a cookie? You want a cookie?
Yeah, because ads are beautiful. That's what he always says. So I assume it's going to be ad monetized games because of the short payback periods and lower CPIs for the actual AdWords campaigns. So AdWords campaigns, mostly on Google, Unity, or Uplovin. I work with Google a lot on the AdWords campaigns. It's actually working quite well. So they can bring low CPIs and then short payback periods, 7 days, 30 days, even 60 days, kind of like a nice scale. And also very good quality players that watch shit tons of ads. So that definitely keep that in mind. We actually have an episode about Google AdWords campaigns, how they can be structured and everything, so you can check it out. Also, by the way, who is actually a subscriber of our channel? Raise a hand.
Me.
Ooh, nice.
That's nice.
Everybody else, go for YouTube. Subscribe. I checked the subscribe number, so keep that in mind.
How many cease and desists have we gotten now from different companies?
Only one, almost like
Two, right?
two. So Uplovin and what, Unity?
I don't know, man.
Oh, one.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah. You got us in trouble.
Numerous times.
Yeah, of course. In terms of the UA channel, so we discussed like earlier today, like moving away from Facebook is still working quite well for me. I'm adding kind of like Uplovin and Irisons into the mix. So actually, you're talking shit about these networks.
I did not.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I actually work with them and put them in the UA mix.
Yeah.
To actually help maintain or even improve the quality of the users. And how does the UA mix look like for me at the moment? So it's always like Google, Unity, TikTok, and Facebook, and then adding Uplovin and Iron Source. The number of channels obviously depends on the scale, payback period, and everything that I mentioned in the first point. And then in regards to the creatives, if you're moving kind of from the gameplay-focused concepts or gameplay-oriented creatives to, let's call it, altered gameplay concepts. Come on, fake ads. You're using the assets from the game.
With fake gameplay.
Maybe.
What percentage of the campaigns you run are with fake ads? Are you part of the problem or the
Zero. Oh, of course. I don't run fake ads.
Yeah. Alright.
If not fake, until we call it fake.
Exactly. We always call it fake. I call it altered gameplay. With altered gameplay, maybe.
Do you really?
Yeah, of course.
Oh.
So what the fuck is that? You already said it's fake ads. It's not fake. But
Altered gameplay.
exactly. That's what I said. You build the custom levels in Unity or whatever level builder or editor you have from scratch using the gameplay assets. Therefore, it's not fake.
Of course.
But these custom events, obviously they're not shown in the game, but they can work quite well. You can get pretty nice CPIs and draws afterwards. When we are talking about this altered gameplay concepts, think about Rush Royale, Frozen City, or Golden Goblins creatives. Which means you can actually...
We're gonna show you.
Yeah, we're going to show you that actually in a second. Then I had some privacy and automation bullshit written down here. So we touched that earlier today. All these Chat GPT and then Midjourney and all this AI fun stuff.
We're all gonna lose our jobs.
Most probably no.
Yeah, me first though. Don't worry, I'm
These
first.
two
I'm first, you second, and then you go.
Why?
I win.
What?
Why?
AI.
You're automated first,
Yeah.
you're automated second, I'm winning.
Yeah. I'll come with you.
You will leave. Don't worry.
No, look, for me, it actually kind of improves my workflow, so it works well, at least for now. Yeah, of course, you need to experiment different.
Improve it to 100%. Don't worry.
Okay, then you can continue.
Yeah, I can
Back off. Yeah, start talking about
let's go then.
what do you want?
Now, what do you have with the privacy? What do you have now?
Well, if privacy is it's still coming, so I have no idea what's going to happen with Scan 4.0, with Privacy Sandbox. We have actually guys from Addictive who work directly with Google on the Privacy Sandbox, actually coming to the podcast to talk about what's going to happen. From Singular, Aaron from the CTO is going to talk about how to actually set up Scan 4.0 properly. for now, there's a lot of fluff and articles about like it's coming, but I don't know really like how to set it up properly now. So I need data. There are some prospects coming in. First few, it can take months until it's rolled out properly. So yeah, that's it. There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
Blow us away, Remiar.
Yeah. Let's go to the game.
You want to show the?
Yeah.
Okay.
Put it on there.
Which one first?
Lately we'll be talking a lot about fake ads on the podcast and like what's there, and because this is
What do you mean fake ads?
Altered gameplay.
You had your content session.
I understand.
So we were talking about it a lot. We've seen some games, even talk about it on the podcast, that pretty much you take an old game, you put their fake ads, and suddenly your revenue and download spikes like 10 times, 20 times, like X0 example.
Why it works? Yeah.
Why it works? Why not everybody is doing that? And that's the ultimate like golden question. And there are a few games recently that we covered, and I think there's like a repeating pattern we will talk about here. Because what we saw before in those previous games was that, so we started with this kind of fake ad gameplay, the Hero War spins, dying character in lava and stuff like that. It was nowhere in the game. Later, as we moved down the line, people actually started to put these playables into the game and actually incorporated some of the stuff in the tutorial. But it's still kind of very rough, it's duct taped. If you go to Hero Wars Reddit, people are actually asking where are the puzzles. They're playing because they're expecting the puzzles will show up somewhere there, which they will never will. So yeah, it's still kind of a rough, but works. Hero Wars has the same revenue as Raid Shadow Legends, even though Raid Shadow Legends is like CGI actors, I don't know who they sign up lately, whatever. And Hero Wars is an old game, really like, I don't know, 6 years old, something old, and they just were propped up by the fake ads. So that's the first thing I would say. The second step in the evolution is something better.
Sorry, I'm just trying to find.
You're plugging your blog.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Yeah, shameless plug. So this is the current like newest format. I've seen it even like in more sexist way, or they actually hired a porn star that narrates it now.
Yeah.
Your favorite stepmom and stuff like that, so they have that. But anyway, this is the very rough thing, and in the end, this is just taking a game, not doing really much changes to it, game design-wise, product-wise, and just faking it and slapping it with playables and stuff. We talk about that. Then there's the second part where you actually go.
I'm trying to find.
You need to keep up with me, man.
No, I'm trying to find the guy on Reddit who is actually still trying to find that.
Yeah, puzzles.
The puzzles.
So the second example would be something more sophisticated, something like Kingdom Rush or Top War, where they actually built the creatives into the gameplay, and they are the gameplay.
I'm going to show it. Fuck it.
Yeah, you can just keep up. With hyper-casual games, the gameplay is the creative. It's easy because, as we know, hyper-casual games are done before. So you first do the creatives, test them, see the lowest CPIs, and then you make the game. The animators are actually ones doing the games. You don't really make the games. It's like, maybe this would, no. You just make 20, 40 different creatives. I remember seeing a case study, or was it a case study, when Voodoo took whole IO. It was just a mechanic from a PC game, in Donut Country or something, I think. And they just put in everything like IO model, that model, like 20 different kind of creatives. This one performs better, let's make it that, and whole IO. Voila, game makes millions. So, hyper-casual gameplay is something that lowers CPI, is very appealing, and it's got into the games these days. So we have games such as Kingdom Rush and Top War, which are actually modifying the first-time funnel in order to serve the creative there, and it's not fake, because you actually play that little Tetris, you do some stuff around it, and it seems like the game is like it is. It's not that it's pretty much fake, but in the end it's kind of fake. Yeah, of course.
Can you show creative?
And now, what I want to talk about today is this kind of element of adding pretty much another core gameplay into a completely new game. So let's take Fiona's Farm. That's like a great example. By the way, all the games we talk about today, they're kind of new and has very strong trend line numbers, meaning they are making like 60, 70k just in entries a day. This one especially, Frozen City that I will talk around next, makes like 200k a day. combining IPs and ads, and Golden Goblins, I guess, the same. So all within like millions a month, pretty good.
Frozen City.
Yeah, this is Frozen City.
My wife doesn't. My kid doesn't.
Yeah, that's great. And you can see, by the way, all the games use actually the
I'm not
same.
gonna fight it. It's actually got a point.
All the games actually use the exact same creative concept. What's really interesting about it that even though we can know it's fake, it's not fake. And this is the real important distinction, because the games out, like the things that you see there, like goblins taking out these rocks, they actually have it in the game. It's not fake. Now, of course now. If we go to Frozen City, this is, I guess, the lowest kind of correlation there. Like you don't really like travel resources, but they actually chop wood. You build stuff from wood, and you have that kind of resource management there in the game. So again, it's not that fake. Yeah, he's the like stacking resources. So we see this kind of a shift towards the creatives being the main source of lowering CPI and then hitting that fake wall where you get like 30% of reviews immediately that like everything's fake, it's fake, don't play this, it's fake. And slowly games are trying pretty much to convert this into some kind of actionable gameplay so they can exclude all of these fake reviews and pretty much incorporate it into their gameplay. And it's working out pretty well. And it's pretty much increasing the game design difficulty on this game because, let's say this game, Frozen City, it's an idle game. It's very, very similar to something like, I don't know, Adventure Commoners or something like your usual idle flicker. But in the end, they also have animal war in the game. So you battle.
I don't think they're.
They don't use it in creatives. I don't know why, but I haven't seen lately the creative that they have there. They're currently using just these kind of resource ones, similar to Golden Goblins. But they actually have a actual game that is pretty much Animal War, where you have like auto battler, RPG auto battler built into the game. So all of these games, this is an idle game. Fiona's Farm is actually a family island game with a match tree on top of it. So they actually built whole Toon Blast into the game. So imagine how much time it takes you to build Toon Blast, and then on top of Toon Blast you build Family Island.
How much time?
Fucking lot of time.
350.
Yeah. So, but it enables them to do these things. That even though the creatives are fake, they are not fake because we actually do these things there. You clear stuff, you clear paths.
Altered gameplay.
This altered gameplay.
Now it actually works. Now it's altered gameplay. And
In your face.
what I'm getting out of this, that we're like for you, ad people, not for me, product people, we're gonna get pushed into the corner.
Hey, I'm the victim of this, man.
You're the main problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's happening that there's more and more impact coming from marketing into actual product design. Because what is happening here, games are adjusting to the creatives, not the other way around. It was always the other way around. Now it's like completely different because the CPIs are so damn high. We have all of this like post-IDFA apocalypse that this guy still talks about.
There you go, you manager.
Yeah. So and you are pretty much trying to diminish this kind of a problem from fake ads because you already can use this magical weapon called fake ads, but it produces a lot of these results that you don't want, which is fake reviews and stuff like that. It's not good for your game. So you actually adapt. And the other very, very important kind of example is that, in my opinion, all of these games, I guess, would have much higher engagement. Because all of the games are usually based on timers. So in this game, I'd say the real game, the Family Island game, is based around timers. You create resources. It's the usual production puzzle. Timer here, timer there, and so on. So for you need to wait. What happens during the wait? You go play match 3 game. What happens in Frozen City if you're running on timers? You're going to play the auto battler. What happens in Golden Goblins if you're waiting on timers? You're going to play the rock game, where you're pretty much destroying the rocks. So my guess is that they still keep the user in a really, really prolonged session. For me, for instance, when I was playing Frozen City, I could still do stuff within the first session for like 2 hours. It literally took me like 2 hours until the game stopped. So we're seeing this kind of a new paradigm, how marketing creatives are really incorporated into the gameplay, but properly. Now properly. This is no more pin creatives.
All hyper-casual concepts, by the way.
Yeah, this is of course hyper-casual concepts because they lower CPI because they're very accessible. So why not?
You learn so fast.
Yeah.
I'm proud.
Yeah, but I'm guessing next year and even this year we're gonna see more and more of these, but these are not really easy to make because, for instance, Fiona's Farm, if you look into the game, if you compare it with Family Island is gated by the energy. If the energy runs out, you cannot dig any more resources, you cannot build stuff, goodbye, see you in the next session. These guys have energy, but it doesn't regenerate. What regenerates are the hearts on the match 3 game, because it's, again, connected really perfectly, and then the match 3 game is actually the monetization. Why? Because match 3 game has much better monetization.
So every game is going to be a hyper-casual Fatui in the future.
No, these are definitely not hyper-casual.
No, but like a Fatui, like a first-time user experience.
Not even the Fatui. It's like the core engine of the game. The match 3 stays during the whole game. It's not like we said before with Hero Wars and like all these other games where you are just using this kind of fake creative gameplay during the Fatui. It's now completely incorporated into the game and a big part of the game. So like this game, for instance, you get match 3 boosters from the resource management game, which then helps you to grow and cross levels. In those levels, you use the energy to build stuff. So it's completely connected and it's working pretty well, I guess. And the other thing also that's happening is that I guess we're moving more and more into this kind of Asian budget territory where Asian gamers in like Japan and like whole Asia pretty much games have much higher and dense feature set there. So attention budget and like feature, pretty much the possibility for the player to absorb so many features and even control them is getting higher a little bit, I guess. So we'll see. But it's getting more and more sophisticated, and my worry is that by next year, if you're building your usual match 3 game, your usual simulation game, your usual whatever game, it won't be enough. You will need another core gameplay built into the game to kind of offset some of the problems and enable you to use the fake creatives, which won't be fake anymore. And that will be your hyper-casual core gameplay added into the game. So next time when you talk with your production team or product people, ours, and you ask them like, what are competitors doing? How they're shifting the creatives? Are they incorporating into the gameplay? Really? Is it common in our genre? You should definitely look into it because you're gonna get outdrowned by these people.
I think that it's kind of new still. It's not usual for all the new games out there.
It's not usual, but we're getting there. We're slowly getting there because the CPI wall will just push you there. How can you then go around like so challenging LTVs?
We got questions. We actually never get to do questions in our podcast. So we see if no one wants to ask me questions. Yeah, sorry. Can we get one more mic, please?
Matej, I think his mic is not working.
Sorry, can you turn his mic is not working?
Yeah, you just shout.
Yeah.
No, it's not working.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Say something.
It's not working. So.
Yeah. Perfect.
Ah.
Here you go. I saved you.
Yeah, thanks. That is better.
Yeah.
There you go. Let's do a question.
Questions before we wrap up. It's been a long day, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
I have a question.
Sure.
Alright, so I'll just shout. I know you compared a few games. Unfortunately, I have not played any of them yet.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, we talked about like fake ads or misleading ads, and
Altered
that happens to
Altered
me.
gameplay.
Yeah, altered, yeah. There you go. That. So I also was a victim of watching something like, hey, this looks fun, and I download the game. That never happens.
Uh-huh.
Like what I play in the playable ads, that never happens. So
The
of course I
old
just
fake
drop
system.
off. Exactly. So I drop off. And now, of course, you compared a few games, Fiona Farms and also Frozen City. But I'm just wondering if, I don't know which one is more successful than the other, but I'm wondering for Frozen City, is it...
Frozen City is definitely higher on revenue, if you're talking about that.
Good. This is the other question. So do you think they're more successful because of the way they played with the creatives, or because this is an original game that came from Steam in 2016 and they have kind of this like existence in the markets, and so people are like excited to try the game?
Yeah, I think it's the second thing you said here. It's both of these games are pretty new, so I would, if you check those charts on like Sensor Tower data or whatever, you still see the line goes up.
Okay.
So we don't know when they will hit their ceiling. My guess is it will still take some time. Both of these games have a lot that can be improved upon them. Like we talked pretty much about Frozen City. If you want to like just we have a separate episode on Golden Goblins and Frozen City, if you want to check those out. Frozen City, for instance, have very few ad placements.
I'm not sure what happened, but I guess it's our time to leave. The
Yeah,
stage.
I think so.
Yeah, so we'll see, but just to answer the question quickly,
Yeah, pretty much.
Frozen
Yeah.
City is definitely capitalizing on the niche that they created from Frozen Park. Because even if you look at the game, they put the temperature UI as the biggest UI thing in the whole UI. So it's they're going after that survival apocalyptic niche.
Okay.
But Fiona's Farm has the potential to go even higher than Frozen City.
Oh, thank you.
Nice. Good. Any more questions, or we are heading for
Yeah.
drinks?
How much we gonna drink?
I think it's best time.
Yeah. Well, I need to check the subscriber count. First of all.
Don't get greedy. All right. Anyway, let's wrap up.
Yeah. Oh, for free you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, we can try harder, but thank you very much. No, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Please subscribe, because it would definitely help us to grow even more. And yeah, we can talk after doing some things. Thanks.
See you guys.